Well, hi, I Bolit again with What's My Name Again. This time a holiday edition dedicated to the Jewish holiday of Purim. This holiday is the Jewish costume and carnival holiday, and this holiday is based on the book of Esther from the Bible. So today we're going to talk about some names from this book and actually the authenticity of the book itself. By the way, if you don't know the story, you're most welcome to read it from the Bible or just watch a few vids on YouTube, the links to which will be in the box below. In the book of Esther there are a few important people. The first one would definitely be Achashverosh, the king. Actually, this king is the second king of the Persian Empire in the Hamman dynasty, and his Persian name is Achashverosh, better known by his Greek name Xerxes. You may know him from the movie 300. That means the events described in the book happened, if they really happened, around 560 BCE. Did he exist? Definitely he did, and is this the same king? Well, according to the size of his empire, 127 states from India until Kush, Africa, yeah, it looks like the same empire, and according to the description of his lavish parties that lasted 180 days, yeah, it's the same drunk king. More details about the authenticity of the book can be found in the laws of the empire. For example, you can't approach the king unless he points towards you with his staff, the status of the queen as almost equal to the king, and the fact that you can't cancel a law given by the king, and you can only make a new law to fix the situation, are all true laws in the empire during the dynasty. So these things are kinda accurate. Let's go to the next character, shall we? The next character is a bit less accurate, and his name is Hamman, or Hamman. Now, Hamman is the evil guy in the story. Hamman is the main minister in the government of Xerxes. Hamman is described in the book as one of Agagian nationality, the same nationality that's called Amalek in the Jewish Bible, and the Jews are decreed to fight them and destroy them upon sight. Now it's kind of symbolic because this guy wants to annihilate all Jews in the empire. Now, did he exist? This time the book is not that accurate because the main minister of the king had to be of a Persian nationality. So someone from Agagian nationality just couldn't be the main minister. And of course there is no archaeological evidence of the existence of Hamman as a main minister in Persia. However, Hamman does exist in the Quran, but the Quran puts him not in Persia but in Egypt. And well, there Hamman is the main minister of Pharaoh Ramses II, the Pharaoh of the Exodus, and he is described as the one that convinces Pharaoh not to listen to Moses and not to set the people free. An evil minister against monotheism. Now, this Hamman actually has archaeological evidence for his existence, and probably was symbolically mixed into the Jewish story of the events in Persia. So let's say maybe this minister did exist, but it wasn't his name. Let's go on to the good guys. The first one would be Mordecai. Mordecai is an influential Jew that lives in the capital city of Persia and influences the events. When the king Xerxes announces that he's looking for a bride, he convinces his niece to enter the contest, and eventually she becomes the queen. Then he saves the life of the king by snitching on two guards that wanted to kill him, and then he convinces Esther to snitch on Hamman about his plan to destroy Jews and saves the day. Now, did he exist? Well, this time archaeology is on our side. There is evidence for the existence of an important minister in the court of the Hamman dynasty named Mordecai.
A great success!
Yeah, but the problem is that this name was kinda common, because Mordecai is named after the main Babylonian god, the god of sun, Marduk. So it's very probable that a minister in the government of the Persian king would be named after a god, but it's not necessarily our Mordecai. How about the main character of the book, Esther? The whole scroll is named after this Esther, the Queen Esther. Her original name, as described in the book, is Hadassah, named after the plant Hadass, a very nice smelling flower named myrtle in English. She is convinced to change her name to Esther by her uncle Mordecai. Her uncle says that she would better hide her Jewish nationality when entering the brides contest. Now, this kinda makes double sense. The origin of the name Esther is described from the root seter, hiding. She hides her true identity and changes her name to Esther. A word that you may know in English that derives from this source is the word mystery, that comes from the Hebrew word mistorin. It's the same origin, something hidden and unknown. So her true identity is unknown. But actually her name has another meaning. She is probably named after a Persian goddess, Ishtar. Ishtar was the goddess of the night, and actually in English you still use the word star to describe the things in the night sky after the same goddess. Now that goddess was very important, and the main gate to Babylon was called the Gate of Ishtar and dedicated to that deity. So is her name 100% Jewish? Not at all. Now, she's a very important figure, but did she exist? Well, there is no written data about her existence. But how about archaeological data from the city? Well, the city in which the events take place is called Shushan. Susa in English, or Shush in Persian. The city still exists by the name of Hamadan. Now, the city has a very important history, since in 1901 the laws of Hammurabi, the first written laws that we know, were found there. They weren't written there though, but they were found there. And a few spots in the city are dedicated to biblical heroes, though there are no evidence that they are the true resting place of them. There is the tomb of Daniel, the prophet, and the tomb of Esther and Mordecai. Both places are holy for all monotheistic religions, and by the way, kept in a nice order by the Iranian Islamic government. So, what can we learn about the book of Esther? Are the events true? Probably not. Such a big event as the Jews slaughtering about 70,000 people in all of the Persian Empire in self-defense probably would not be deleted from the pages of Persian history, so probably it did not take place. The events described in the book were written actually 200 years after they took place, so probably there are many differences between the reality and the facts written there. So what is the significance of this book? First of all, this book is interesting because it's the only book in the Bible where God is not mentioned even once. Nobody prays, nobody talks to God. It's described as if God intervenes in the events without even mentioning him. But the interesting thing about this book is the origin of words that interest me. For example, the word dat. The word dat in Hebrew means religion. Therefore, in Yiddish, for example, you describe a religious man, dati, as dos. This word exists in the book of Esther, but describes law. The funny thing about this word that it exists in many languages. You know this word as data. Coming from the Latin language, data is something given to you. Law is data given by the government, and religion is data given by the gods. And here's an example to this name that I found out about a week ago. The Persians founded a city in their empire, and they called it a city given by the gods. Baga Data. God gave. Can you imagine what's the city name right now? That's right, Baghdad. So as you can see, not so many things have changed, but the funny thing is, I still don't know if the citizens of Baghdad now know the true meaning of their city's name. If you want to know the meaning of your name though, you are most welcome to email me or to message me here and to ask, and I will be very glad to tell you. So have a nice Purim holiday if you like carnivals and customs, and that's it. Shalom.